Hey everybody, this is your boy Keith Harrison from the group Faze-O, Heatwave, and the Dazz Band, and you're watching Musicians Revealed by Joe Kelley.
Up next here on Musicians Reveal, a tremendous singer, songwriter, producer, founder of Faze-O, member of Dazz Band for 40 plus years, also Heatwave, in the business for so long, written so many great songs and still going strong. We welcome Keith Chop Chop Harrison. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing? I'm great.
I'm honored to have you on. I know you got a little downtime from the road, the Dazz Band. I did see you next year booked for the Soul Train cruise again, right?
Yeah. We're actually going out February 26th this year to do the 80s cruise. It's a 7-day cruise. It'll be sailing to the Bahamas, Nassau, and Jamaica. And my youngest daughter was born in the Bahamas.
Wow. Yeah.
And we named her after an island there that was called the Samana Keys. So her name is Samana.
That's a great story, backstory. Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably has to explain it every time they ask, right? Yeah. So those cruises, the 80s and the Soul Train cruise, you've been doing it for many years, right?
Yeah. Tom joined the cruise, Soul Train cruise. The 80s cruise is our first one.
Okay. And we've had friends, Boogie Wonder Band. I don't know if they're on this year. Yeah.
There's going to be 35 acts. Yeah.
How many shows does the
We're going to
Dazz Band
do two 75-minute shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Dazz Band's still going strong, and we'll talk a little bit about the band and all these years that Keith Harrison's been involved with them. But I wanted to start Dayton, Ohio. You were born in Dayton, right?
Born in Dayton, raised in Dayton.
Yeah. Hall of Fame in Dayton.
Yeah.
I'm
on the Walk of Fame in Dayton. That's an honor.
Yeah, I know. You can.
A big honor.
So the Dayton Hall of Fame Hall of Fame Museum.
Then they got the Hall of Fame Museum.
Yeah.
It's not open yet.
Okay.
They're still working on it. It was open off and on. They had a couple of spots that that they were able to put up some of the paraphernalia from different Dayton groups. But now everything's in storage and waiting for a new home.
Yeah, I know they do great work. So, if we can support them and our viewers and listeners, have to definitely do it because they've been working hard. Yeah.
Yes.
Davis Webb, right?
David Webb.
Webb. Yeah. Right. So Dayton, Ohio, the early days with your family, before we get into the funk explosion out in Dayton. Your parents, what were they grooving to music wise? What were you hearing in the house?
When I was 10 years old, I was always banging on pots and pans. And at 10, I wanted to play a keyboard. So they bought me this little organ that sits on your lap that had the push buttons. And I learned how to play that. But as I got older and we moved out into the country to a 7-acre farm, I played football, was very good in football. Turned down a football scholarship to pursue music, but my dad didn't want me to be in music. So when I turned 8, I always had a band through high school, the Medallions, the New Creation. And then when I graduated, we had a group called Phase 3. And my dad didn't want me to be in music. And he said, "You're not going to lay around this house and play that music. You're going to get a job. If you don't pay your mother $14 a week to wash your clothes." I didn't want to hear that. So I turned down a football scholarship, and it was to an all-male college, and I didn't want to do that. So I enlisted to the Air Force and to the military. But the good thing is, after basic training, they shipped me right back to Wright Pat in Dayton, Ohio. So I was able to hook back up with the band, and the rest is history. We became Faze-O. We were discovered by Clarence Satchel of the Ohio Players, and he took us in the studio, and the rest is history.
Where did he discover you?
We were playing at Wampler's Ball Arena at the Postman's Ball. And actually, we were headed to go down to the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. That's where we were going to plant our seed because we had talked to Al Heyman. At the time, he was a big-time promoter, and he wanted to take us under his wing. Satch saw us, came up to us and said, "Hey, I'm Clarence Satchel at Ohio Players." And we was like, "We know who you are." And he says, he says, "I got $24,000 and I want to take you guys into the studio. If you're interested, be in my house tomorrow." So we had three Caucasian horn players. Excellent. They were great. So they didn't want to do it, they just sensed something wasn't right. And we said, well, there's nothing wrong with checking it out. We had our trailer, U-Haul trailer hooked to the van. And we went over to his house and we sitting in his driveway 1 hour, 2 hours, and we're like, what's going on? So we were getting ready to leave and he finally comes out and he's laughing. And I said, why'd you make us sit in the driveway so long? He said, I wanted to see if you really wanted it.
Oh, wow.
So we went in and, I'll talk about a lot of that in the book.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking off air that you're hard at work on working on a book, which I know people will love and just eat up all the stories and all the funk history that R&B history you've been involved with. So, when did you get that idea to put together this book and maybe tease a little bit what people can look out for?
I was recording a young lady. She wanted to do an audio biography book, and I was recording her in my studio, and she was looking around, looking at all the stuff, and I got to talking about. She said, "You ought to write a book." And I said, there is a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things, but I said, if I'm gonna write it, I'm gonna write it about my journey. So the book is called Riding High, My Journey with Faze-O, Heatwave, and the Dazz Band. So I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus because I don't want to be sued.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you gotta
So
research all that. Yeah,
my journey and all the interesting things, the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs.
Before we get into a little bit about Faze-O, I wanted to bring up the topic of your mom, who I know was dear to you. Your mom surprised you one time. Isn't there a story about the piano and reading music? And you can relate that.
When I turned 18, I asked my mom, I said, "Mom, where did I get this talent from?" She said, "It was God gifted." I said, "Well, is there anybody in the family that plays an instrument?" So we had a playroom that was attached to the farmhouse, and that's where the band, we would rehearse and stuff. And we had an old time piano out there, and the hymn book always sat on the piano. So my mom said, "Come here, boy," and she took me out there and she opened up the hymn book and she started reading and playing. And I was like, I started crying. I said, "Mom, what?" She said, "Your dad didn't want me to prevail to you, because he didn't want you in music." So I was so angry, man. That's what really drove me at that time to like, I'm gonna do this music just to get back at him, And so that was the reason why she didn't ever teach me or,
But was he in the front row of the first gig you guys did?
Sure was. He was in the front. Once we made a record, he said, "That's my son." So
that's right.
So I forgave him.
Yeah. That's a great story.
It always worked out. It worked out,
Before the first record, I mean, you grew up with so many historical bands in your area. Were you going to check them out in clubs or just hearing them in records?
Sly Stone was my idol. I had the big sideburns like him.
Okay. You got to put that picture in the book.
And I tell you, James Brown, it was basically James Brown and Sly and the Family Stone, Isley Brothers, um, and I tried, know how players, of course. Uh, we try to check them out anytime they did play in the clubs. But other than that, it was just, a lot of local bands. It was like 36 bands in Dayton. And
Fighting for
out of the
gigs.
36, you can count on your hand how many were successful to get record deals or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Motown, Minneapolis, the Solar record family, just that Dayton, that
Yeah.
Ohio, just a movement. It's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah,
P
it
Funk.
could
Yeah,
have been a hell of a record company there, uh, but I guess and the people that could have done it would have been Ohio Players because they were the biggest group that came out of Dayton, uh, financially and popularity. So uh, we could have had it, just like Minneapolis has the Minneapolis sound, Philly has the Philly sound, and so forth and so on. And they call Dayton the land of funk. So, yeah, Lakeside, you
yeah,
know, you
Slade.
had
Yeah,
Sun,
yeah.
Dayton, Slade, Faze-O, uh, Heatwave. I mean, and then you had Roger Troutman, then you had Zap, you had New Horizon. Um, and the list goes on. There was just so many. Junie Morrison came out of Ohio Players and made it big with George Clinton. You know, so a lot of the guys who did branch out were also became successful, getting their hands in the mix of other uh, artists and music. I was able, me and my partner Sanford Whitlow, we call him Sandman. Um, we were able to land a jingle with Sprite company, and it was for the Soul Train Awards, and they played that for 2 years. This was back in the '90s, you know. So they opened the door for me to get into jingles. Uh, I was able to uh, write music for uh, the Dayton Air Show in the '80s. Uh, they used to televise it, and all the music that you heard I put the music together. I even wrote music for aerobatic pilot named Sean Tucker, who was
Oh,
very
okay.
popular. And when he would fly and do that song would play.
Oh,
That I
wow.
wrote. So
So
yeah,
all that stuff complements the touring on the big stages with the Dazz
yeah.
Band, Heatwave. But yeah, it's great to know the backstories with that.
Faze-O, we had a good stretch. Of course, Riding High
Yeah, the first
was our
single,
biggest hit.
right?
Um, we we wanted to be a futuristic funk band,
Okay.
and that's why we wore the the boots and the futuristic type outfits. I don't know why our drummer wanted to dress like the Village People with the
Oh, yeah, the
the
headdress.
head the
Where
headdress.
do you find outfits like that when you're trying to put the ensemble together? Where would you shop?
Well, we after when we toured opening up, players took us on tour with them, and it was us opening up uh Parliament Funkadelic and then the Ohio Players, and we talked to George, and he was telling us that there was a shop up in New York that made all this kind of stuff. So we went to New York, and that's where we got the boots and the headdress. But uh, Diane Baines, who was the seamstress for the Ohio Players, who made all their outfits, made our outfits too.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely made the music come alive as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Let, yeah, go ahead.
go uh, after the Riding High, of course, came the Good Thing album, uh, and then the third album was Breaking the Funk, and then we recorded a fourth album that's never been released. Like I said, I'm sitting on those tapes now.
Well, what
Uh,
kind of sounds to those songs could people
they're
expect to
funky.
hear? Yeah,
They're
right.
funky. You know, and I was going to add, I've I wrote a sequel to Riding High called Step to My Ride. And it's really nice.
And I like how the Dazz Band incorporates it into the set, right? It gives
Yeah,
you
some
the
shows
spotlight. Yeah, I see that.
yeah, they do the spotlight on Riding High. This guy used to be with Faze-O. Do
Right,
you remember this song? And people
right.
like,
Yeah, that's a good feeling, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good feeling.
I like how the one of the vocalists in the Dazz Band, when you're singing and he's accompanying with all the emotion right in front of you, the young cat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
But
Yeah.
I keep saying they never learned the song.
Okay, they
when
know
they,
the title,
yeah, when it's supposed to say Riding High, they come in on the wrong.
right?
But it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good. And um, right off the bat, I mean, that first record, Riding High, the first
Yes,
single,
yes,
smash. I mean, and early
yeah.
20s, I assume that's how do you handle that kind of lifestyle and attention?
For us being so young, we were just happy to have your song being played on the radio. Uh, we didn't venture out into what's behind the scenes, like publishing, the writer royalties. You know, we were never. Let me put it like this: we were never uh, geared right or uh, privy to the kind of money you can make with a hit like that. If I told you how much money I made on Riding High, you would probably faint.
It wasn't I don't know, 6 or 7 figures, right?
We got robbed, right?
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
robbed. You
right.
know, our publishing got stolen from us, uh, and I'm still fighting, trying to get that. You know, and right now, uh, Warner Brother owns it, and Rhino Records distributes it out, license it out, and we don't get a dime. All we still get is our writer royalties on Riding High, and you know, Riding High has been in two big movies, thanks to Ice Cube.
Yeah.
It was in his movie, and it was in Think Like a Man. Um, it was in American Pimp. It was in another movie I can't remember the name, and none of that publishing we received,
Not a dime, right?
not a dime. And so it was a lesson well learned. When I took over leadership, the bass player Tyrone Crum used to be the leader, but uh, things weren't. I started sensing that things weren't right. So I took over leadership and started investigating and studying how publishing, writer royalties work. And Satch used to tell me, "You're like a chess game. You're one step ahead of me." And I said, "It's because I don't trust you." You know, because he was managing us too.
Okay.
So a lot of that'll be in the book. You know, I don't want to get into
Yeah.
any deep details, but we were raped.
Yeah. I got a quick question about that situation. When artists like yourself or other artists talk to these record companies, they show no compassion that things were effed up all along the
Yeah,
way?
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
No compassion, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And when you're that young, they take advantage of you.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, I mean, I think Satchel knew Riding High was going to be a big hit. You know, when the record came out, his name was on it.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
why is his name on our music? He didn't write it,
Yeah.
you know? So things like that. On two of the songs you'll see on Riding High, I think it's True Love, you see 13 writers. It was the five Faze-O members and then all the Ohio players' names. Now, if you taking 13 writers and try to divide that in 100%,
Yeah.
but fortunately those weren't hit records. But I kind of sensed that. I think because there was guys in Ohio players that had groups and they wanted to take them in the studio, and I think Satch forced his hand pushing, saying he's taking Faze-O first. So
Okay.
I think he said, I'll give you guys, uh, some credit on the record, you
Okay.
know, by letting me do this. So I'm just assuming, you know, because why would 13 names all of a sudden show up on your
Yeah.
music
When they weren't in the studio.
when they weren't even in the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you toured a little bit with the Ohio Players yourself, right?
yeah. I did,
Yeah.
in latter years. I
Did
did.
you do the Apollo Theater with the Time?
No, no.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Mm,
when last time I saw them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I didn't. Um, yeah, I on the players did a CD was called Back to Back, something like that. It's a female on the front with all this tape uh,
Oh, okay.
wrapped around her. I co-wrote a song on that called "Show Off" by the Ohio Players, and so. But all my anger was toward Satch, not them per se. You know.
And it'll all be in the book, I'm sure. A
Yes,
lot of the
yes,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the end of Faze-O, that part with the 3 records, what led up to that breakup of the band?
Well, we weren't getting any airplay off the last 2 albums, which was a good thing in breaking the funk, um, because She Records was just a label. There was no company, so there was no bodies working it, and we were distributed by Quintillion Records,
I remember them. Yeah.
part of Atlantic. So uh, Henry Allen at the time, I guess, didn't want to sink any more money into the group. Um, so we weren't getting a lot of gigs, and then me and the bass player fell out
Okay.
over some sensitive stuff, and I quit, and I left the group. I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if they tried to keep it going and they just decided to go their separate ways too. I was fortunate enough to, well, let me back up. So after 30 years, I realized I made the biggest mistake of my life as a leader.
Okay.
I let my emotions get in the way when I should have fired the bass player and kept the group going. So I apologized to the guys, and they said, "Man, we understood that, you know, because I was the main force behind the band." Um, then 2 weeks later, I get a call from Heatwave because Keith Wilder had always been wanting me to leave Faze-O and come and join Heatwave, and I said, "No, man, we climbing the chart."
Right, right.
And next thing I know, I saw Boogie Nights. It kept going up and up and up.
Right, yeah.
It came number one on the Billboard, and we made it to number 9 or 10, something like that. But I got a call from him, man, and to come and join the band. This was after Johnny had his accident.
Okay, yeah. And you were working Rod Temperton, all that wisdom, right?
Man, what a joy and a blessing to meet one of the greatest writers of all times. Um, and just learn from him his techniques of he said all his ideas came from movies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and he said if you were to go to his house, he would have box full of Betamax tapes. Back then it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Betamax before the VHS.
And the machine cost hundreds of dollars just for,
Right.
yes.
So, and that was interesting to hear that. And he taught me cluster chords,
What are
zebra
those?
chords, and subliminal notes in your harmonies that draws the human ear in. So that's how I started, arranging my background vocals and stuff, because when we record, it would be four of us singing, myself, Billy Jones, Keith, and because I did the last two albums with Heatwave, Candles and Heatwave Current.
Okay.
So
where did they record those records?
we recorded California and England. Yeah, yeah. So we would Rod would dub us 8 times. So when you listen in your speaker, you have, be a spread like this. Instead of 4, most people do 4 overdubs with backgrounds. We did 8, and that's what gave it that full background vocal sound.
That's the recipe, right?
That's the recipe.
Yeah. I mean, just his name all
And
over the hip.
remember, you heard it first out there.
Yeah, that's right. Keith Harrison.
I share some great information.
Yeah, because most artists don't they keep it close, but you told it right there. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Just all the stuff with Michael that he wrote, and great artist. Yeah.
He wrote Michael's biggest album, Off the Wall.
Yeah. That was and then Thriller, he went on and that sold more. But I'm more Off the Wall, because that was kind of like my teenage years, and I'm like, wow, so many memories from that record.
Yeah.
Oh, my buddy plays. I don't know. Do you know Elliot Levine in Heatwave?
Yeah.
Elliot's he loves it. He loves the band. Yeah.
It's a shame there's not one original member in the band anymore.
And if you want to see some great dancing, go to YouTube Heatwave and see the Wilder Brothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
They
were incredible.
They were doing flips and stuff, man.
I was like, did they have stories that they were injured at all?
No, they never got injured. They was doing the splits and twirling, and it was sort of like a circus act.
Yeah.
But the music was really good. I don't know if you saw Unsung when they did it on Heatwave, but there's a segment in there and talking about Rod would always give Heatwave first Gibby song, whatever he wrote. And they, Johnny had the right to accept it or turn it down. And so when he presented Rock with You, and we would even record some of this stuff, demo it. Johnny said, that's not really me. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
And that's when Rod said, he said, F it, Mike, I'll give it to Michael. What happened? It blew up.
Yeah. That John Robinson drum thing to kick it off.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Rock with You. Oh.
Bad decision.
I heard when he first presented that, I knew that was going to be a hit, but hey, sometimes, how it goes.
Yeah. And that's the thing, being in a band, I'm sure, with all these personalities, just it's complicated at times. Yeah.
It is. It is. Especially when you got more than 5 people.
I know this is in different genres, like it happens all through the music industry, but what do you think bands, because I've had bands on the show, bands that you I'm sure you all know and work together, that they split up or members leave and there's fights on the names and everything like that.
Yeah.
What do you think are the reasons that lead to that? Because it's tough to see.
People in their ear. You don't need them. You really, the band, you're really the star. Record companies do it. They pull people, singers, somebody singing the leads all the time. They're looking at, well, I don't have to pay, so much money to a band when I can just control one individual.
Right.
Some were successful and some weren't. A lot weren't. You know.
Progressing from Heatwave into your gig for 40 plus years, the Dazz Band. How do you get connected with these guys?
So we're in England, London, finishing up Heatwave Current. My wife calls, and I had met Skip when uh, they were Kinsman Dazz, and we were Faze-O. We used to do a lot of gigs up in Akron, and they opened up for us.
Okay.
And I met Skip, you know, and so fast forwarding, uh, we were uh, doing a gig uh, together. I think it was Six Flags in Kansas, I believe it was, and we were on the bill, and so the whole band got a chance to see me, the Dazz Band, not knowing that they were eventually looking for another keyboard player to join.
Okay.
So we're in the studio in England recording, finishing up Heatwave Current. My wife called and said, "Honey, there's a guy on the line named Skip Martin. Do you know him?" I said, "Yeah." So she connected me with him and said, "Hey man, this is Skip." He says, "We're looking for another keyboard player." And he says, uh, I told him we could get 2 for 1 because she sang and play. And would you join us? And I immediately said yes. Because I didn't sign a contract with Heatwave as much as Johnny tried to get me to.
Okay.
And I said, Johnny, after I just went through with Faze-O, I'm not up for signing no contract. So I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been bound, to Heatwave.
Right.
So I flew back home and went to Cleveland and straight into the studio. They had just finished up the Keep It Live album that they had let it whip, and we were working. They were starting to work on the One for Fun, and so the reason my picture is not on the front of on the One for Fun, I missed the photo shoot.
Oh, okay.
When I got to Cleveland, they had already did the photo shoot.
Well, they could have these days photoshopped you right up there without a problem.
So my name is on the album. So
right. Yeah. And the Grammy is in your house, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you out there for the ceremony?
Yes. We were taping Solid Gold.
Oh, okay.
And we were trying to figure out, and the Grammys was at the Shrine Auditorium that year. So we were trying to figure out how we're going to change outfits quick enough to make it to the Grammys. So we decided to tape Solid Gold. We took off our tuxedo bottom pants and put on our leather pants, and took the tie off and opened our shirts.
Right.
And kept the cummerbund on. So after that, they drove us quickly over to the Shrine Auditorium, and as we're walking in, they're saying, "And the winners are the Dazz Band." And then they said, "Wait, we have a tie."
Really?
First time in history this has ever happened.
Uh-huh.
It was a tie with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
What song from Earth, Wind, and Fire? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
And because Earth, Wind, and Fire had been winning that category for many, many years.
Right.
And instead of the Academy going ahead, giving it to us, the song was number 1 for 79 weeks.
Yeah.
On the top Billboard. Earth, Wind, and Fire song was not number 1.
Right.
It's political.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always, cause I grew up watching Soul Train and watched my wife, she grew up in Montreal. So when we got married, and she's been living here for 20 plus years, but, when we're watching Soul Train, she didn't see it growing up. So she's all into it. And when they play a song and you hear the dancers screaming and talking over the music, that's when they feel it.
And
the Dazz Band, I've heard it several times, especially down the line and everything.
Yeah. So the manager said, going up, going up. They're calling your name. So we went on up, on the stage
Right.
and the rest is history on that.
Who was the big winner that year? Do you remember?
Uh, let's see.
Was it Michael or no?
Remember, I
Yeah,
know
right.
Toto was winning then.
Okay.
Uh, Prince and Vanity was running up and down the aisles.
Right.
Uh, let's see. Grace Jones was there. I don't remember who the big winner was that year.
Did you ever have a chance to meet Prince?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. He came out and jammed with us when I was playing with the Time in Las
So yeah,
Vegas.
let's get into that. How did you get one of the keyboard chairs in Morris Day and the Time?
Well, Faze-O, we were playing in Detroit at Cobo Arena. Uh, no, yeah, and the Time was. Did we play there, or we were there or something? And in passing, Jellybean said, "I know who you are.
Huh?
You keep theirs in the Faze-O. Love
Right.
y'all, man. That riding high." Da, 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 da. So we met, talked a lot. So I get a call. Um, one day I'm at home, I get a call, and it's the manager. And he says, "Is this Pete Harrison?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "This is JB. I'm the manager of Morris Day and the Time, the most magnificent band, blah, 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 blah." And he's like, it's like promoting. I said, "Who is this?" I said, I'm getting ready to hang up. And
Right.
then he said, "Jellybean, he don't believe me." So Bean got on the phone and said, "Keith, this is Bean." I said, "What's up, man?" He said, "Cool." He says, "We need another keyboard player because the keyboard player they had played with Frankie Beverly and Mays, and he was leaving the Time to go hit with them." And so uh, he says, he says, so I said, "Well, when will I have time to rehearse?" And he said, "You professional, aren't you?" And I paused and then I said, "Hell yes."
Yeah.
I said, "Why did I say that?" And
Right.
I said, well, what am I going to, he said, "You're going to be playing strings and bass lines and singing and stepping." He says, "We're going to be in Indianapolis on such and such a date. Meet us there. You can watch the show from backstage and then get on the bus
Uh,
and roll out."
right.
So he gave me the repertoire of all the songs that they're playing. And he said, "Oh, by the way, bring a suit."
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't go up with jeans and a t-shirt.
But this was during the time when I came off the road from the Dazz Band. I took a hiatus because my wife had acquired Lyme's disease. So I had to take care of her and my two daughters uh, while she was going through her period with Lyme's disease. And Bobby, the leader of the Dazz Band, had always told me, uh, "You can always come back, whenever you're available." Uh, so I did that. You know, it was funny because one show we played in Cleveland, the Time Band, the Dazz Band was on the show.
You so you did double duty?
No,
No, no.
I didn't get too many likes,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
from some of the guys in the band. And
Yeah. God, like
you,
we don't know
you
who
know,
this guy is anymore.
yeah, yeah, why you? So, uh, but the band had changed up too, a little bit. The Dazz Band. Uh, so after I did, the the straw that broke the camel's back with the Time Band, we were over in Finland,
Okay.
and so the next day after the show, that's when we would all get our money. Uh, Nobody can find Morris. Morris had skipped out on the whole band. If everybody's walking around wondering what's going on, what's going on. So I pulled out my gold card and said, I'm going to the airport.
Right.
So I caught a flight home, and that's when they were doing like cool jazz festivals.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah.
And there was a cool jazz festival coming up. Uh, and I knew they wouldn't be able to find another keyboard player that quick. So I called the manager and said, I'm not going to do the gig unless I get my money from Finland and an apology from Morris.
Never
And
happened.
he started cussing me out and I hung up. So then Norby Walters called. That's when Norby Walters was the big booking agency then. And Norby was trying to, you obligated to do this? I said, no, I'm not. I said, I'm a hired musician. I'm not on contract. I'm a hired musician. So then Morris calls and he said, send him your money, Western Union. And he apologized. And, so I did that one gig and that was the last gig I did with them.
It's funny. As you're telling that story, I'm thinking to myself, I heard more. Not I've never had Morris on the show, although we were talking about it. But anyways, he had mentioned that the same thing with Prince. He's like Prince. He wanted the money up front in his bank account before he stepped on stage
Yeah.
towards the end of the
Yeah.
career. So maybe you had a little thing to do with that. I don't know. I just started thinking about it. I said, "Wow, the tables were turned."
Yeah. And so then that's when as years went on, 2014 is when I acquired prostate cancer. And Bobby had called. He would call like maybe every 6 months, and I told him, I'm battling uh, health issues right now, and I won't be able to do nothing. So 2020 is when I came back.
And you're doing well now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great. And we were talking a little off air. You were advising, you tell people get your checkups, right?
Yeah, I'm advising musicians, especially artists, musicians. Please go get your checkups. It's the reason they do the rectum check is to feel for the prostate to see if it's soft or hard. If it's hard, you have cancer. Don't wait. You should do it now. It's taking people down as early as age of 50.
Right.
Some in their 40s. So please go do that. I'm begging you. I'm still here, and they have all these different medicines and remedies and stuff you can do to prevent it, but you need to go get your checkup.
Yeah. Colonoscopy too. Everything, the preventive measures.
Colonoscopy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I want to get back to talking about our mutual friend Jellybean Johnson, who
Yes.
tragically,
Yeah. Oh
suddenly
man.
passed away a couple months ago. And
Yeah.
just a huge hit, just a great guy. He was my go-to guy if I wanted to know anything about the Minneapolis scene. Where like,
Right.
hey, about Prince, especially when he was
Yeah.
alive, and Jellybean would tell it straight up.
Yeah. Bean
You
was just such a down to earth individual. So kind hearted, just a great guy, man, very talented, not just on drums but on guitar,
right?
writer, so man, it's just unbelievable, you know.
Yeah, and the Minneapolis local scene. I mean, he was in the clubs still
Yeah,
performing. That's
he
a
was,
huge hit
he
there.
was involved in his community,
Yeah.
so no, there's no words. There's no bad words you can say about that man.
And you had a chance, thankfully, to catch up with him at
Yeah,
Sweetwater.
I
It's
had a
out your
chance.
way, Indiana. What was that session like? In maybe your last in person conversation, possibly.
They were doing the master class, him, Monty, Freeze, and Tori.
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah, and it was awesome. And they talk about what established the Minneapolis sound, how they put songs together, how Prince would put songs together, layering stuff. Uh, It was really good, good class. And
I think they're going to carry it on.
yeah,
Freeze has been
yeah,
saying, yeah.
yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something, the Fool in Love Festival. And I got to give credit to the Dazz Band because when they started your set, the mics weren't turned on. Things were messed up. And it was the Ray Calhoun,
Man.
Ray Calhoun got a nice spotlight in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was a disaster.
Okay. You said it. Yeah. But I mean, nobody was like panicking. You guys were like, okay, we're going to.
No, that's the professional part. Not that whole set. I didn't have no keys,
Oh,
no
it was the
sound,
whole set? Yeah. I know you were
no
hitting the
sound.
mic.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I had to fake it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no sound on my. I, I was about to have a meltdown, but I held my composure. I said, Keith, you gotta be professional. No, and
How does that happen though? That everything goes
well,
haywire?
when you got that many acts and you got a stage that spins, and you only get every act only gets like 20 minutes
Yeah.
in it, so you got they get I think 10 minutes to set up
Okay.
uh to change stuff over, and so it's hard on the technicians
Yeah.
to, because every group has a different format, of how the stage set should be. And I guess it got so hectic that they forgot. No, stuff kicked in probably at the end of the song.
Right. You sure it wasn't EQ's cousin who messed with the dials?
uh,
He plays in Confunction. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So much talent in one festival. It's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, I forgot how many stages it was. But yeah, all the big artists performed there. You know,
Are there talks of doing that again or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. If they do it again, they got to think of how to
Yeah.
do it better.
Things will definitely have to improve sound wise.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
How about keyboard influences throughout your career? Do you have some that really influence your sound or what they were doing?
Uh, I like a lot of different keyboard players, and uh, I think Corey Henry is one of the best keyboardists on this earth right now. Wish I could play like him. I kind of there's not one that stands out
Okay.
to me really. I just admire all the different types of keyboard players. I the the keyboards I love are the Norlead, of course, motifs, uh, the Roland, Phantom. Uh, I did never got into the chord stuff really, really good, chord keyboards, but you just had the NAMM convention. And so much stuff comes out every 6 months, man. I just got to the point. I said, I'm not buying nothing else,
Yeah.
you know, because they pretty much all do the same thing, uh, just a few little tweaks here and there. Uh, but I only use the boards that uh, provide the sounds of the songs that we play.
Right.
You know,
Back
so
back in the early days of the Dazz Band, sometimes you had like five
yeah,
keyboards,
I
right?
I had like DX Yamaha DX7, the Jupiter 8. That's what I did joystick on, uh, and mini mode, and I had a Prophet 600.
How about with the time? What
I
on the
played
keyboards? Yeah.
I
Okay. Go ahead.
played the Oberheim. They big on Oberheims uh, for the bass stuff, and for gigolos get lonely too. Uh, I played a Roland synth for strings, and I basically just had uh, and I had another board. I can't remember what it was for pads.
Okay.
You know, but see now you got keyboards where you push a button, you can program what sound you want, and all you got to do is push a button and boom, goes to that sound.
Right.
Opposed to having all those different kind of keyboards. If you probably notice with the Dazz Band, you probably don't see me with two boards.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's right.
or 2 to 3
And one of
sometimes.
them's a lot smaller than the other, right?
Yeah, that's my Mini Nova
Okay.
that I use on joystick, the vocoder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That Dayton influence, right? Yeah. Little
Ohio,
yeah.
Ohio influence.
Yeah, that's right. The Ohio players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But Roger had a talk box. Roger
Oh,
Trout.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always get
and
corrected on that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The vocoder is different from the talk box, but
Right.
it basically kind of do the same kind of thing. Electronic sound.
You've been on tour you've been in some of the best bands
Yeah, I
in the
played
business.
with.
Yeah.
I went out on the road with Low Key. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
out of
That was
Kansas.
Jellybean work with them, right?
Um,
I
I
thought he
think
worked with
so.
them. Yeah, he
They
did
had
some
a
stuff.
song called the big hit called "I Got a Thing for You."
Yeah.
You know, I went out on the road with, of course, the Time Band players, Ohio players, um, and I recorded on Cutie Pie, the group Dayton. You
Yeah.
caught my eye, I
Yeah, that's
can't
a great one.
deny. Yeah, man, great song. I played the
Yeah.
synthesizer on that.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and that's Diamond on the drums from the Ohio players.
Okay.
Hmm.
He's not touring anymore, right? Diamond?
Yeah, the Ohio players are doing, actually, we're doing a gig with them March 20th,
Okay.
uh,
So Diamond's gonna be there.
somewhere
Yeah.
in Illinois. It's going to
Okay.
be the players and the Dazz Band.
That's great. I mean, you guys are
Yeah.
still going strong and looking sharp in the suits.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The outfits, you know, I'm still, well, I'm squeezing into them now.
Like us all. Yeah. Yeah,
I got that age weight on me now.
just wear a black shirt. It cures the ills.
Yeah, that's why we're black all the
Yeah,
time.
right. How about on the road when you were on festivals with other bands that you had to watch, you would run to watch their set while you were on tour. Anyone stick out?
Man, I love watching uh uh well, Earth Wind, of course, you know. Uh, I would go Cameo, love Cameo, um, Mary Jane Girls. We did some shows with Rick James when he was, you know, alive. Stone City Band, you know, great groups. And then watching some of these young hip hoppers like Neo, uh, everything is the naked girls on stage, you know, when you don't really need that. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? Because you have such great song. Babyface has a great show. Actually, his bass player Walter Barnes plays with us now when he's
Oh,
available.
okay.
Mhm. We use different bass players. Sekou Bunch, um, EQ. We've used EQ's cousin who plays with Confunction. Uh, so it's a variety of different bass players that the group has acquired.
So when are you shipping out for the 80s cruise?
6.
Okay.
No, yeah, February 26th.
Yeah.
Flying to Florida,
Okay.
and that's where we board the ship and sail out to sea
Can
on the
you get a
27th.
direct flight out your way? You got to go to like
Oh yeah,
Atlanta.
it's a direct flight.
Okay. Yeah. I got to fly out of Albany when I go to see my dad in Vegas. It's always like a
Yeah,
3-hour layover in Atlanta.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm doing, you know, if we're doing gigs on the West Coast, sometimes my connections are either Denver or Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our viewers and listeners, your website is harrisononelove.org, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll have
Yes.
that in the description and people can go there. And the Dazz Band, their official site. You want to drop that?
Uh,
Oh,
I gotta look it up.
okay. No, that's all right. I'll have it in the description. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you'll be able to
Yeah.
find. Yeah, I don't know it right offhand, but I can, kind of look real quick here. Give me a minute. I know you're on a time schedule.
And you'll be the Dazz Band, of course, adding dates for the summer, later spring, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, wow, come on. Where's where's the info? I don't see the info or the website. I know we have it.
Okay, I've got it.
We got it.
It's easy for people to remember. TheDazzBand.com.
Yeah, I just see it now.
Yeah, got a nice picture with you up there with the guys, and
Are we in the yellow
yeah,
or in
except one
red?
guy. Ray doesn't go along with the dress
Raymond,
code.
Raymond,
Yeah,
Raymond.
Raymond. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He wears comfortable stuff. He says, for him to do
right,
uh the drums.
right.
You know, so
He's been working out. It looks like.
yeah,
Yeah,
he has.
yeah,
He has. He works out.
yeah. So
Yeah.
how about before we go on the solo record? Do you got anything
My
in?
my solo CD was called K Harrison One Love. I don't know if you can
Yeah, yeah, could see that. Yeah.
see it. Um, and they can go to all the platforms. It's on all the platforms. Um, my favorite song on here is Cardiac, and it's R&B soul for those who are into R&B soul. I'm going to be pushing it a little harder this year and putting some videos. They got all these AI videos you can do now.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And the other one is Baby Don't Cry, which is a nice mid-tempo ballad. And then I'm working on uh, doing some jingles. And basically, that's as far as any new Dazz Band material. We did go in the studio and record some stuff, but I don't know what Bobby's going to do or thinking about now with that situation. Uh, so all I can say is keep looking out, because we're still going. So
Still going,
that's a
still
good thing.
torn. And
Yes.
the book, Keith Harrison. And what's the
Yep.
working title of the book?
The book is called Riding High: My Journey with Faze-O, Heatwave, and the Dazz Band.
Some great things to look forward to all in
Yes.
this
Yes.
upcoming year. And yeah,
Yes.
it's an honor to have you on. I've just, loved the music all these years, and just talking with you. It's just fantastic.
Well, Joe, it's been an honor being on your show. And I thank you for the platform. I thank you for bringing us on, especially OGs.
Right. I know. You were you were recording early, late 70s. I got into radio 82, but I guess we are OGs. OGs. Yeah.
And a lot of people ask me, they said, what's the chords to Riding High? It's just 3 chords. It's 3 chords.
Right. That's it. Yeah. And you'll have all that in the book. And
Yeah.
And to remind our listeners and viewers, you can go to Live 365 Musicians Reveal Radio and hear all the music we've been talking about today.
Amen.
We'd love to play it here on YouTube, but YouTube's got the copyright.
Yeah.
They block a lot of stuff. So we play it legal. I know a lot of people take chances, but we do it the legal way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thanks, Keith. And
it's been an honor.
You got to come back.
I would love to come back.
All right. Keith Harrison, Faze-O, Heatwave, and the Dazz Band. Dayton, Ohio, representing forever, right?
Peace and love.
All right. Thank you. All right. Take care, Keith.
You too.
All right.